tunay na madilim na mga mensahe sa likod ng mga nursery rhymes. Ang lahat sa atin ay gusto ang nursery rhymes at lullabies. And our kids love them too. Pero alam niyo ba na ang stories at rhymes na ito ay mayroong mga dark, hidden meanings behind them? Ang videos natin ngayon ay magtatalakay sa mga popular children's nursery rhymes at songs na mayroong hidden meanings na hindi niyo akalaing based sa dark times in history. Stay tuned until the end of our video para malaman nyo ang mga creepy at sinister na meanings behind sa mga nursery rhymes for kids na ito. Number 1. Ba Ba Black Sheep, 1744. Ang nursery rhyme na Ba Ba Black Sheep ay arguably isa sa pinaka-famous na nursery rhyme sa buong mundo. Pero tungkol ba talaga sa itim na tupa ang kantang ito? For several years, ang kantang ito has been given different meanings by various interpreters. Pero ang pinaka-common na interpretation goes like this. Ang kanta na ito ay sinulat in protest against the medieval English wool trade tax ng 13th century. You see, mga viewers, ang wool trade noon was so big in England that King Edward I placed a huge tax on top sa trade nito. Under sa decree nito, 1/3 sa pera na mula sa pag-trade ng wool ay ipapasok niya sa kanyang bulsa. Halimbawa, if bibili kayo ng isang sakong pure wool na worth 900 pesos, higit 300 pesos ang pupunta sa kanya. It was the earliest form of corruption. But wait, there's more. Aside sa 1/3 na pupunta sa king, ang naiwang 2/3 ay i-divide sa farmer at sa church, leaving no money for the little shepherd boy. Ang isa pang interpretation sa nursery rhyme na ito ay tungkol sa racism, specifically sa slave trade. According sa karamihan ng literary historians, ang main reason kung bakit tungkol sa slave trade ang kanta na ito ay dahil nagkukontain ito ng words na master at black and is therefore racist at offensive para sa mga black people. Ang perceived racial insensitive nature ng kantang ito has led to many kindergarten teachers banning ang lyrics at ginagawa nilang less offensive ang nursery rhyme na ito by replacing the word black with other words kagaya ng happy, little, at sad. Number 2. Jack and Jill, 1777. Sadyang napakarami ng mga theories surrounding ang origin at meaning ng lyrics ng traditionally nursery rhyme na Jack and Jill. Ang lyrics sa nursery rhyme na ito basically talks about two characters na ipinangalan ng Jack at Jill na umakyat sa isang burol para kumuha ng tubig. Ngunit in the process sa pagkuha ng tubig sa tuktok ng burol ay nahulog si Jack and sadly breaks his crown, and Jill meets the same fate afterwards. Ang pinaka-common na interpretation sa rhyme na ito ay si Jack at si Jill are believed to represent King Louis XVI of France at ang kanyang asawa na si Marie Antoinette, Queen of France respectively. In the annals of history, si King Louis ay pinugutan ng ulo by way of the guillotine noong 1793 at sinabi ito sa verse na Jack fell down and broke his crown, and coincidentally, ang asawa niyang si Marie Antoinette was beheaded some months later. Jill came tumbling after. Number 3. Three Blind Mice, 1805. Ang Three Blind Mice ay isa din sa mga nursery rhymes whose writer remains unknown, but it was first recorded sa 1805. Ang song na ito ay apparently tungkol kay Queen Mary I of England, also known as Bloody Mary. Ang farmer's wife sa lyrics is believed to be si Queen Mary. Tapos ang Three Blind Mice ay nagre-represent sa tatlong Protestant bishops na sina Nicholas Radley, Hugh Latimer, at Thomas Cranmer, the Archbishop of Canterbury. Ang tatlong bishop na ito, who are famously known as the Oxford Martyrs, were burnt alive at the stake under ang orders ni Queen Mary after inaccused niya sila for heresy. Pero ang mga bishops na ito ba ay nabulag before sila nasunog? Ang sagot yan ay hindi. Pero many suspects na ang blindness ng three mice ay in reference sa mga crypto-Catholics who saw Protestantism as a form of blindness. Number 4. Humpty Dumpty, 1797. Ang first recorded instance ng nursery rhyme na Humpty Dumpty was in 1797, pero until this day, ang author sa song na ito is still unknown. Ang lyrics ng kantang ito suggest that ang character who was named Humpty Dumpty ay sa karamihan sa atin ang nag-assume na isa itong itlog. Pero oddly enough, hindi talaga nila nag-explicitly say na itlog talaga siya. Ang uncertainty na ito has led to many theories tungkol kung sino talaga si Humpty Dumpty. Pero ang pinaka-common na theory ay si Humpty Dumpty is actually none other than Richard III of England. Ang lyrics ay nagpuportray kay Richard bilang isang hunchback who fell off sa kanyang white courser na kabayo. The wall during the Battle of Bosworth Field noong 1485 and was brutally killed. Couldn't put Humpty Dumpty together again. Number 5. Ring Around the Rosie, 1881. Kapag kumakanta tayo sa Ring Around the Rosie, which is also known as Ring a Rosie, with our children, ang most common thing na maaari niyong maisip ay probably something like a group of children that are holding hands and having fun habang tumatawa at kumakanta sila in a little circle. Pero ito ba talaga ang real meaning sa apparently innocent nursery rhyme na ito? Ayon sa napakaraming mga theories surrounding ang beautiful children's song na ito, deep within the lines ng kanyang words lie a theme of death. Lots and lots of death. Mind you, ang mga experts ay naniniwala na ang lyrics sa kantang refer to the horrible Black Death o kaya ang Great Plague of London na nag-occur between 1665 to 1666. The Great Plague claimed the lives of about 75 to 200 million people sa buong Europe. Obviously, mas malala pa ito sa COVID natin ngayon dahil noong panahon na yan, wala talaga silang mga vaccines to supplement their immune systems. Here are some of the lines na galing sa kanta ng Ring Around the Rosie na ginagamit ng mga vocal supports nito to back their claims na ang meaning sa children's song na ito was referring to either the Great Plague or the Black Death. Pocket full of posies. Noong outbreak ng Black Plagues in the streets of England, ang mga bahay at pati ang kanilang mga hard brick roads ay napuno, basically littered with scores of dead bodies na nakatambak literally one on top of each other. Ang amoy na dulot nitong horrible disposal protocol noon can be simply described as the stench of death. It was so foul and smelly na mga residente noon had to walk around with posies, mga bulaklak at herbs na mabango stuffed in their pockets, which they used para i-mask ang nausea-inducing stench around them. Ang iba naman sa kanila ay naglagay ng mga good-smelling herbs at spices sa kanilang plague masks to prevent them from catching the disease dahil akala nila pwede itong kumalat sa hangin. With everything said and done though, hindi ito nakatulong sa kanila and the Black Death proceeded to wipe out almost 60% of Europe. Ashes, ashes. Ang morbid phrase na ito refers to the rapid spread ng infection dahil ang mga survivors of the plague were forced to incinerate or cremate ang mga tambak na mga corpses sa daanan, and ang ashes na that were floating in the air after the massive fires ang nire-refer sa line na ito. Ring around the Rosie. Isa sa pinaka-prominent symptoms of the Black Plague ay ang reddish ring-like rash na magdi-develop sa balat. It was a disgusting blemish na makita mo from afar. At ang mga mayayaman noon used this as identification para mag-avoid sa mga tao na merong ring around the Rosie. We all fall down. Ang linyang we all fall down ay nagre-refer to the fact that the Black Plague led to the death of a very significant percentage ng population sa Europe. Ayon sa mga records, Europe alone lost 50 to 60% of its entire population dahil sa Black Death. Number 6. London Bridge is Falling Down, 1744. Baka maalala niyo pa ito, mga Gen Z viewers natin. Noong 2006, Fergie ng Black Eyed Peas got saucy with a little of this classic kids tune. Pero ang original meaning na ito ay sadyang malayo pa din from anything child-friendly. Depende kung sino ang itatanong nyo. Ang kantang London Bridge is Falling Down could refer sa isang brutal Viking attack sa London noong 1014, the regular deterioration of a bridge, o kaya mas notoriously ang rumors of live child sacrifice during ang construction ng London Bridge. It is said na ang dugo ng mga bata noon was used to strengthen structures kagaya ng mga castles, town halls, at of course, bridges. Pero ang pinaka-popular na theory seems to be the first one. More specifically, ang alleged destruction ng London Bridge at the hands of Olaf, the Second of Norway, sometime during ang early 1000s. Alleged dahil ang ibang historians ay nagda-doubt that this attack ever took place. Pero ang mismong popularity ng kantang ito around the world is often cited as further proof sa teorya na ito. Dahil ang mismong Viking people ang gumawa sa kantang ito, and they brought the tune to the many places na nirage at napillage nila. And if stuck up pa kayo sa whole child sacrifice thing, well, my idea that is often debated sa contemporary society that goes that in order para ma-maintain ang structural integrity ng London Bridge or any structure in general, ang mga manggagawa ay naniniwala na it must be built on a foundation of human sacrifice. And those same humans, mostly children, ay may tutulong bilang guardians sa structure na yun, which we're pretty sure isn't a practical tip they teach you kapag nasa architecture school kayo. Number 7. Mary, Mary, Quite Contrary, 1744. Ang children's song na ito ay sadyang hindi masyadong patok sa atin compared sa ibang culture. Pero if nag-aral kayo sa mga private at international schools, baka naka-encounter nyo na itong nursery rhyme. Ngunit kapag isipin nyo ang kantang Mary, Mary, Quite Contrary, ay isang maganda at innocent na children's song tungkol sa bulaklak at gardening. Well, kapatid, you just might have to think again dahil ang rhyme na ito is yet another sa list namin whose lyrics are surrounded by darkness. Same case din ito kagaya ng mga karamihan sa mga popular traditional rhymes. Napakaraming theories have been brought forward para explain ang meaning ng kantang ito. Pero ang pinakapatok at pinakamorbid na theory is this. Ang daming mga historians na naniniwala na ang kantang ito is based purely around sa first daughter ni King Henry VIII na si Mary I of England, o kaya better known as Bloody Mary. She ruled as the Queen of England and Ireland mula sa 1553 hanggang sa 1558, during which she earned her namesake dahil sa kanyang brutal orders na i-execute ang napakaraming religious dissenters, mainly Protestants, by cutting off their heads or burning them alive, a trait na namana niya sa kanyang ama na si King Henry VIII. Not convinced? Maybe this will change your mind. Ayon sa Old English language, ang salitang contrary ay isang paraan para i-describe ang isang murderous psychopath. And if you ask us, si Mary I of England fits the bill quite nicely. Reference din ito sa kanyang ruthless, contrary reign. Ang lyrics that go, "How does your garden grow?" is believed to be a reference sa kanyang inability para mag-produce ng buhay na anak, which was common for that time. Tapos ang line na silver bells and cockle shells is speculated na nag-refer sa kanyang large and elaborate amount of torture methods at instruments na ginamit niya to torture many of the people she soon murdered. Well, she wasn't called Bloody Mary for nothing. At ang line na pretty maids all in a row is believed to refer sa kanyang numerous failed miscarriages that she suffered during ang kanyang short but terrible lifetime, o kaya nagre-refer ito sa beheading ng kanyang half-sister na si Lady Jane Grey. Regardless, ang seemingly innocent child song na ito has its roots set in some gory details. At yan ang video natin ngayon. Sana na-enjoy niyo ang creepy details na ito and leave a comment for anything else we might have missed. Thanks for watching, and God bless.